It's been described as a new low for New Zealand. A human trafficking and slavery case involving at least 10 people brought to work in the Hawke's Bay horticultural industry. A 64-year-old Samoan national has been charged with 18 counts of human trafficking and slavery over a period of more than 20 years. He's been named as Viliamu Samu, an orchard worker from Hastings. I asked Immigration New Zealand's chief investigator, Peter Devoy, how his alleged victims were treated.
They have been brought here on visitor visas. They have been mistreated, they haven't been paid, and their plight has been sufficient to support those charges of slavery and people trafficking, which I suggest is a bit of a new low to New Zealand.
When you say they were mistreated, in what way? Physically mistreated? Is that the allegation?
That's the allegation. There's physical mistreatment by way of assaults and also threats. So what comes through here is that migrants in general who come to New Zealand, they're in a vulnerable situation. They quite often don't understand or read English. They aren't fully conversant in the spoken language. So they are in a situation where they have the information that they receive and their situation is very much or can be a controlled situation, and this is what we're seeing in exploitation in New Zealand at the moment.
How did this go on for so long?
It's a matter where people probably didn't report it to us. Some people must have been suspicious around the plight of some of these people, and it came to our attention about 2 years ago, which initiated the investigation that has culminated in the charges today. But that was brought about by one of our staff, a compliance officer, speaking to a person who had been presented to us as requiring or needing to be deported from New Zealand, and recognising that something wasn't right and asking further questions. And
so not wanting to be unfair to you guys, Mr. Devoy, but basically it was stumbled across through during the course of another kind of investigation.
Yeah, it was discovered by way of a deportation that extra questions were asked.
So have people been complicit in this? Because you said there some people might have suspected some of these workers were being mistreated. Have some business operators or others been complicit in keeping this quiet?
I mean, the full facts will come out in due course, but they probably haven't been complicit. They've probably been seeing a situation which they just haven't raised or asked further questions about.
So these are contract workers, are they? This gentleman brought them in here and then got them working for other companies, is that correct?
Yeah, this is a situation where they are working on contract, or they're presented as contract workers to a larger contractor who again might be second or third tier contracting. So
only one other contractor?
Again, the detail as to who they work for I haven't got, and we won't be going into.
But the point about that is, did the contractor not ask any questions about these people's right to work in New Zealand and the way they were being treated?
We've got the situation where whose responsibility it is to ask these questions is somewhat vague, and it is probably something we need to look at.
So what about the people, the so-called slaves? Where are they now?
They are in New Zealand, some of them, and others have returned to Samoa.
And the ones in New Zealand, do they have the right to continue staying here, or are they here for the case?
Again, their visa situations I won't discuss, or their current situations I won't discuss, but they will be lawfully in New Zealand.
Okay, so before you go, how widespread do you think this kind of problem is? Are we some kind of safe haven for modern day slavery and human trafficking?
I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but this is now our fourth prosecution for people trafficking. It's the first one that police have led with us. It's the first time that we've had a combination of charges of alleging slavery and people trafficking. And people trafficking is the pinnacle of exploitation, and we're certainly seeing more exploitation in the country. We're certainly seeing more people trafficking. We've got 2 charges now before the court, and we've laid people trafficking charges in 4 situations. So it is becoming more mainstream in New Zealand, and this is probably, the charges we see today are probably a new low for New Zealand.
And that is Peter Devoy, the Chief Investigator for Immigration New Zealand.